Well, YouTube universe, what's going on? It's Theater Carlos. Before we get started, do me a solid and give that like button a nice click. And if you could, just subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video and you enjoy the content on here. Do me that quick solid. Wanted to film a quick intro for you guys for today's video. Had the opportunity to talk to Savannah Gurley. Came across one of her TikToks. I was interested in it and I wanted to have a chat. There's actually the second chat we're having because the first conversation we had, all the footage corrupted because technology and myself are very imperfect. So this is our second conversation. Our first conversation, we talked a lot of politics. We talked a lot of social issues. And this one was a lot more personal. It was a lot more, we really got to see inside the mind of, you know, two young people who are out there in the social media spheres trying to do something. And I mean, I won't give too much of it away. You know, just watch the conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you prefer watch shorter clips, over the next couple days, I'll be uploading clips from this extended conversation so that you can watch them in more short, digestible formats. However, if you are the kind of person to hit play, drop that phone, and drop into Verdansk while you listen to something, hey, this one might be for you. Now, without any further ado, let's get this thing going. Alright, Savannah, so just so the people know what's going on, we spoke earlier this week. We couldn't use the footage, so we're talking again. However, before we started, you were talking about TikTok banning you. Guys, Savannah is currently on TikTok. I found her on TikTok. She had a lot of ideas that I wanted to talk about, and she was just addressing a ban that TikTok did to her. So, so what'd you say happened with that ban?
Oh, okay. So like a week ago, I got banned on TikTok for like violating a bunch of community guidelines and all that, and my ban lifted this morning. I went and checked and it banned me for another week due to multiple community guidelines, right? And I haven't been on the app for like a day or so. Like I haven't posted, I haven't commented, nothing for a whole whatever. And they said, oh, well, you're banned for another week for community guidelines and all that stuff. I'm like, okay. I checked this morning again, they took that video down about the word retarded or something like that, and I was like the sound is still up, which them taking it down literally just proves my point that they're all soft. Like, and it made me so mad. Like I tried emailing them and contacting them. They don't have like any really thing to contact them for anything. I know they're not going to see all the reports that I made, but I mean,
so you don't think you should have been banned?
There was no reason for me to be banned again, at least again, because I hadn't posted nothing.
What about the first time?
The first time, I don't think so, because I got banned like right before I posted. No, right after I posted that one video, but I don't think I should have, because it really wasn't bad. Like I said, it's just a word. Like everyone says it. There's
the one where you say retard alert.
Yeah. I
can understand why they banned you, Savannah.
I understand it, but it's just a word though. It's like that's like saying that that's like canceling dumbass or saying dumbass is a slur.
But I think the reason that one got banned is because you left that person's name in it, right?
Did I?
I think you did.
I meant to take it out.
Yeah, no, and so, cause I think they recently just updated their terms, and I recently, yeah, I think so, and I was looking at it, and they were, and like on there was like essentially what would amount to like cyberbullying, and I do think you leaving that person's name, I think that definitely counts, because like, if there's a lot of people who like get riled up by that, like that could put that person in a position where they're being like harked on, you know? Yeah. So I mean, I think I get why they banned you. But I mean, I kind of feel like honestly, I kind of feel like, cause I think that video was super mean. I think it was super mean. Cause I understand what you were trying to get at. But you was like, you called the person retarded. You've got 20K followers. Your videos get 60, 70, 80,000 views. So I definitely think it was mean. I don't know if it should have been banned because, I mean, I've always thought that if you put something on the internet, you should, I mean, it's like they always say, like, if you put it out there, it's going to be out there forever. And so to some degree, like, I'm actually not sure how I feel about it, at least ethically, like, in terms of, like, technological ethics, because, I mean, I do feel like if you post something on a on a website which is public, I do think you kind of waive those rights. But I think even with that, I think that I definitely get why you were banned, because I think if you're gonna be that bold, Savannah, you should probably just blur people's names. Because
The thing is, I was going to do that. I think I just forgot to because I had it in my draft, and I was going to like blur out the name, but I like completely forgot to. I had posted it, and I guess I just completely forgot about it. But I was gonna take it out, and like I don't know.
Yeah, dude, because like it's just because I get like your platform and you're very passionate and you're very hardcore, but but I think that's okay if you're at least gonna, you've got to play it at least a little bit safe, because like, so for example, you post like people's comments a lot. I do that. I made a few videos like that too, where I posted some comments, but I just made sure to blur everyone's name. And I did this thing where I like after, because okay, so I think I told you about how I joined a group that was like white people aren't allowed in. I made a video about that, like responding to all the hate that I was getting from them, and a lot of them were immediately like, you're not allowed to use my name or likeness and blah blah blah. And so I was safe because I was like, don't worry about that. I didn't. You're blurred out. No one knows who you are. It's just your words. And yeah, and I think that's the safest way to do it if you're gonna do that. Because I mean, I do think if you leave the names in, that I think that does amount to cyberbullying, especially because like imagine, Savannah, imagine like you commented on something or somebody, let's say, duetted your video and was like, fuck Savannah, she's so dumb, and that got like 100,000 views. Like, do you think that might affect you like a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I've had that happen before. So, I mean, but I honestly, I didn't think about it. I mean, again, like I said, I was going to take it out but I had completely forgotten about it. I really wasn't thinking about it. But my thing is, there's like way worse things out there, like than what I posted. And in that moment, I wasn't really thinking it was bad. I was just thinking it was more funny than anything, just because of the sound. But I wasn't really thinking about it till after I posted it, and I was like, well, you know. But I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. But I get what you're saying.
How are you feeling these days?
About what?
Just like in general, like how are your spirits these days?
They're all right. I mean, not where I want them, but it's okay. Yeah.
Is it like, is it the you know you can't go to class getting to you? Is it the TikTok low key getting to you, or is it personal stuff?
I think it's just more personal stuff. Okay. Like I have a lot of stuff that just really came up like as of like a day or two ago. That's like really, really affecting me. So I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm really like bummed out and bummed down. But like, I mean, I'm trying to stay positive because, like I said, I try not to let things bother me. But a lot of it is personal stuff, and I'm just like, you know, it sucks. But
well, then maybe it's good you got banned so that doesn't like drain you too. You know.
Yeah.
Has it been? Has being on TikTok like? Because we talked about a little bit about it last time, and you were like, "I've got tough skin." Before that, though, or I mean, even into it, like, does getting on TikTok affect you a lot?
Not really. No.
Not really. Okay. Well, before we started talking, you and Mike were talking about you painting shoes. Mm-hmm. And I love when people tell me they do art because I do art too. And like in a couple forms. I like to draw. I write plays. I act. I'm a musician. And so you were saying you draw. And you paint, right? Mm-hmm. So I paint and draw on my iPad Pro.
Oh, I do too.
Which iPad Pro do you have?
I don't remember. It's on the back of my iPad right now, and it's covered
Tell
with
me what it
stickers.
looks like. Tell me what it looks like. I could tell you.
Like the back or just
The
the front?
iPad Pro, does it have a home button?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so it's first or second gen iPad Pro. Is it small or big?
It's pretty big.
Okay, all right, I'm tracking you. You're probably on like first or second gen, like one of the larger sizes. So you draw
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, I have this app called Procreate.
Oh, girl, that's what I use.
I do a lot of stuff on there.
Do you so I got Procreate just so I could draw because I took a costume design class with one of my professors, and like physical supplies were just getting really expensive really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting paper, getting like, all the pencils and all that stuff is disposable because you use it and you need a new one.
I mean, it's not like bad. It's like really expensive just for simple things. Like my boyfriend, a sketchbook, a few pencils, and some colored pencils and like gel pens, and it was like 120. And I was like, it's like ridiculous. And it was just like three things. It was ridiculous. Like, especially just the paper. The paper itself was like really expensive for some reason. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like it's really a lot, and so
Not like it's like rare paper that you can't get anywhere. It's like really expensive for some reason. I guess it's just because of the use that they think it's going to be for.
I think no, I think it's just supply and demand. You go to any craft store, it's not getting anywhere near as much foot traffic as like Walmart. Like even like GameStop is shutting down for that reason. Like there's no shortage of people playing video games, but no one's walking into that store. And I think it's the same with art supplies.
They're shutting GameStop down?
I don't know what they're doing with it, but there was like a lot of talks about it. So I know GameStop as it exists right now is definitely on its way out. There's a lot of speculation that they're gonna turn GameStop into like an esports kind of like venue or league or something. So like whenever you go to GameStop, you're like it's like you'll always be able to buy shit, but repurposed. So like instead of it being, I'm trying to think of an example.
So instead of like new stuff, it's kind of used but not really damaged?
No, not even that. Like, okay, do you know how like there's like MLG gaming?
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. So like instead of being just a record, like a store that sells records, now they're a store that sells records and you can get coffee there, and there's like a little venue space there so you can listen to live music.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah. So like they want to do that with it. Do you game? You mentioned your Xbox earlier.
Yeah, I do.
What do you play?
Call of Duty and Cold War as of right now.
Okay, so look. Are you good?
I'm pretty decent, yeah.
How good are we talking?
I don't know compared to what.
Do you play Cold War? So you play Cold War. Do you play Warzone?
I just now got Cold War. I've had Call of Duty for like, I think since it came out, like the Modern Warfare, like one of the newer ones. I've had that since it came out. So I have played Warzone. Pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I average like maybe 6, 7 to 10 kills on Warzone. But it's really hard to find people because it's so big. And once you do find people, it's like it's hard to explain. It's just like once you find people, there's not very many left. Like,
dude, we gotta link up on Warzone. We got to. Dude, my brother and I run Verdansk. I have 100 wins right now.
Really?
Yeah, I average probably like 6, like somewhere between 6 and above usually in kills, unless I'm on like doing horribly. Because actually, man, if I'm going averages, probably not. My average good game, I'm getting 6+. But like, it's just so hard now that I get a lot of horrible games where I drop in and get smoked because I went to the chopper too slow.
Recently, I don't know if it's just for me or recently, all of my average good games are they're like around 6 or more. But recently, I've been getting like around 4, like 3 or 4 recently. I don't know why. It's just like I don't know if it's just how the gameplay is, or they updated it recently, so I don't know if it's like graphics or what. But
No, so what it is, dude, is Call of Duty is doing skill-based matchmaking now, which means if you're good, you're only playing against good people. If you're bad, you're only. It's so funny we're talking about this because I was just watching a bunch of videos about it. If you're bad, you're only playing against bad people. And so it's not casual anymore. It used to be that it threw you into a random lobby. There's going to be good people, there's going to be medium people, there's going to be bad people. If you're good now, you're only playing against good people.
Yeah.
And so like once you get low enough in terms of like skill level, there's like protected brackets for like kids and people with disabilities and stuff. And so like those are your lower ranked protected brackets. So that you're not stomping on like kids and people with accessibility issues and stuff. And then above that, and then like it just goes up and up and up. And so whenever I play lately, man, it's because, okay, I'm pretty cold. My brother and I were pretty freaking cold in that game. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, we're hitting crazy snipes sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like we're R9, we're barrel stuffing with the R90. You know what I'm saying? Like we're clutching last collapse, one of us alive in a duo or trio. Like we're solid. And but as a result of that, we play against insanely good people. Like every fight we're sweating. Every single fight we're in, we're sweating, we're sweaty. And so I think that's probably what you're referring to. If your kill count is going lower, that's definitely why. The game is getting harder. It's getting harder. And the reason they do it, I think, is because if you're Activision and you want as many people to play as possible, take someone who sucks at Call of Duty. Have you ever met someone who goes, yeah, I don't like playing Call of Duty, I just die all the time?
Yeah.
So that's obviously not good for Activision because they want people playing. Because if people are playing, they're going to buy skins, they're going to buy the games, they're going to spend their money. And so if a casual player is getting thrown into lobbies where they're always getting steamrolled, they're not gonna make that money off that player. Whereas if it's skill based, if you're at the bottom, you're only playing against people who play just like you, so you're gonna have average games. You're gonna have your 10 kills, 10 death games where you're still fun to you or whatever. And so it's only gonna get harder, and I don't think they're ever gonna go back from it. Because Call of Duty is making more money than they have ever made right now.
Yeah, it's just it gets so annoying though, because like I'm not like top tier really good. I'm not like I mean I'm just like I'm average good, and I'm playing against like really good people. I'm just like,
well, that's the thing. You're average, so you're playing against a lot of average people. And so when you drop into Verdansk, there's 150 players. You know. There's probably at least half of them are probably just as good as you. And think about how often you kill someone, you know? Like, just as often that you're going to get killed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, what's your KD? Do you know it?
My what?
Your KD.
What does KD stand for? I'm sorry. I'm like...
It's your kill-death ratio.
I don't remember. I haven't really played... the Warzone like that often recently, but I haven't checked it. I need to check it though.
You need to play it, girl. It just got so much better. They just put all the guns from Cold War into Warzone. There's like 30 new guns.
Really?
There's like 30 new guns,
Damn.
Savannah. Dude, it's so sick.
I've just mainly been playing like quick play stuff, like domination and like have you played Infected lately on quick play?
Wait, on Cold War?
No, on Modern Warfare. Like,
oh, okay, no, I don't play Modern Warfare multi that much.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you have played Infected before they updated it, like you know how like okay, so you know what Infected mode is, right?
Of course I know Infected, girl. Come on.
Okay, I'm making sure. Okay, so you know how it was just like you're just switching teams and you're in this random costume, whatever, and you're carrying a knife running around. Now you're like a literal like zombie skeleton looking dude, and your eyes glow red. really creepy, and they make these really weird. It's like almost like Black Ops 3 zombie sounds almost.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Terrifying, but it's really fun. Like if you get the chance to play it, you should play Infected like on Modern Warfare.
What do you have, an Xbox One?
Yeah, I do.
Are you gonna upgrade to next gen anytime soon?
Probably not. I like mine the way I just got it like recently, like 6 months ago, and I really like the Xbox One, so I think I'm gonna keep it.
If you were to upgrade, what would you get? Xbox?
Yeah, I'd probably get some, I don't know, probably the newer Xbox if I had to upgrade. Like, if this one just, like, died on me, I would probably just get the newer.
Dude, I don't think there's a point in upgrading to the next gen right now, man.
Yeah, I like, didn't the Xbox One, like, just come out recently or something like that? Or not too long?
Xbox One has been out for a while.
Okay.
But...
not one Xbox, like, One X or X.
Yeah. Xbox One X came out like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I have one of those, and
okay, wow, you've got the powerful one.
Yeah, I just recently got it, and then they're coming out with the one that looks like a literal mini fridge. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah,
like, it's too big space for that, and it's just, there's no point. They all do the same thing. So, like,
you know what? It's really refreshing to talk to a normal person about games. And when I say normal person, I mean, like, the vibes I'm getting from you is you are you are a casual. That's the vibe I'm getting from you. Like, you play, you're not gonna, like, you're probably not like to the moon and back passionate about it, but you like to play, right?
Yeah, I mean, I play, like, not every day, but like every other day. Like, normally, like, at night, just because. I just finished playing the Cold War campaign yesterday. I just finished it. Oh my god!
You liked it?
Yes,
dude.
I love. You can like choose on what you say depending on the storyline, and it's completely story depending on what you say. And like you can either join the good guy team or you can join the bad guy team. I decided to join the bad guy team, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Dude, I don't like playing Call of Duty campaigns because I just prefer playing multiplayer. However,
twice, that's about it. But it's
they
have story modes. It's, oh my word, it's awesome. I'm not, but it's pretty dope.
I played Black Ops campaign, like the very first one. Did you play that one?
Mm-hmm. I haven't.
So Black Ops 1 is the best campaign in all of Call of Duty. Now, I haven't played every campaign, but I don't have to, okay? Black Ops 1 takes the cake, right?
I played Black Ops 1. I just haven't done the campaign part.
Dude, the campaign is like, it was insane, right? And then Black Ops 2 was solid. Black Ops 3 didn't have one. Or, what was it? Black Ops 4 didn't have one. Black Ops 3 did. Right? That's how that went? Something. But anyway.
Something.
And then I played Modern Warfare campaign. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2. I played a little bit of like Modern Warfare like remake, like this Modern Warfare 2019. And I started the Cold War campaign, and it's really good so far. But man, I don't know. There's something about I just prefer play Warzone lately. But it's like angel and devil on my shoulder, like. The angel is like, hey, you've got to consume that story. You've got to see what it's about. And the devil is like, nah, man, just drop Verdansk and go for the dub. But I definitely want to play the campaign. But I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want it to get spoiled. Because I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna absolutely play it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But there was one part in it there was one part in it I really didn't like. It was almost like horror movie type shit. Like, it was scary. And I was like you're literally running in this hallway, doors are opening and shutting, and there's like a devil right there in front of you, and it shuts on you. I'm like, fuck no. Like, no, it's scary. Like, I was playing it, I almost like threw the controller because I got scared, and I was like, yeah, it was a bit much.
Did you paint your Xbox?
I'm in the middle of painting it. Hold on, I need to let my dog out of my room real quick. But I'm in the middle of painting it right now. I'm doing like an album cover. I can't it is. It's one of the songs I listen to. You know who Lil Peep is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people I talk to, they have no clue.
No, yeah, for sure.
There's one song that he features in. It's called "I've Been Waiting." There's, like, if you look it up, it's a really dope album cover. I'm painting that on it right now. I'm kind of splitting it in half, and on the other side, I'm gonna do like a Billie Eilish cover or something.
That's cool.
So either that or a Kid Cudi album. I think I want to paint one of the new albums on there, like the Scots or something.
Do you know how you're gonna do it? Like, are you just gonna? Because I mean, like, you don't want to get paint inside of it. You know, have you thought about how you're gonna do it safely?
No, it's not like on that. Mine, okay, so it's like kind of half smooth on one side and half like holes in it where the speaker is.
Yeah.
I'm painting smooth.
Okay, so you're not doing the whole thing.
Yeah, no. I have like this duct tape or whatever that I put on it. Yeah, to separate it so I don't get like accidentally get some on the inside or it's spilled out, and align it with that tape. So yeah, it's going. It's going. I'm using acrylic paint, and on that Xbox surface, it's really, really, really hard to blend it. Like blend the colors to make it like. Because part of the thing, it's like a sunset, and I'm trying to work on that. It's really difficult. Like, it's stressful almost.
And you said, you mentioned earlier you want to start a business painting shoes, right? Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
How do I paint the shoes, or how do I start a business?
No, how do you paint shoes? Like, what kind of shoes? What paint do you use?
I use acrylic paint. Really everything, like any either on canvases or shoes. On shoes, like especially leather shoes, acrylic paint is what you're gonna want to use. And after you paint it, you spray this like clear coat on top, so like it doesn't get scuffed up or damaged, or like the creases from when you're walking, or like rain or something like that, stuff like that, so it won't ruin it. But it's really, really difficult because I have to like sketch out with pencil the drawing of what I want to do, and then like it's really, really hard. Like, hard to explain, but it's like you gotta wait for a certain part of it to dry before you like finish it, and if like it dries really, really fast too. So if you're trying to like do something, you have to do it quickly so it doesn't like dry in place, and then you're kind of screwed because it's really get that kind of paint off. And sometimes you might have to do more than one layer, so you have to be really careful. Smudge on one layer and it ruins the whole thing. It's hard to explain, but you asked what type of shoe I use. I usually use like Nike shoes, because I like doing the little design with the Nike logo. Like I'll do drips, or I'll do like some kind of outline where the sewing is, like where they sewed the thing on. It's hard to explain, but I do. I was telling your friend that I have an account. I have like 3 posts on there, but I did high top Nikes for my boyfriend of the Kid Cudi album. It took me like 4 days. I don't know if you can see that, but
hey Mike, pull up her Instagram so I can see it better. He's gonna come show me.
Okay. The account is called Shoe Art, but the O in shoe is a 0.
Shoe Art, instead of O, use a 0.
So it's SH0EART.
Okay.
And I designed the picture on it too. It's like a little like purple background with a shoe on it.
And you want to start a business with that, right?
Yeah.
Are you like serious about it?
Yeah, I'm pretty serious about it. I just my biggest setback is money. I don't have money to get like all these shoes and like put it on a website and like be like, hey, I got all these shoes ready. Order.
You know what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
You've got to tell your friends to let you paint their shoes.
Yeah, I've been telling people, but I can't like just do it for free though. That's the thing. They want me to do it for free, and I'm like, it takes time and money and supplies and stuff to do that. And they're like, well, then if I have to pay, then whatever. I'm just like,
can I give you a piece of advice?
Sure.
I think especially artists, and not only visual artists, but all sorts of artists.
Mm.
So like that's something. I mean, that's a school of thought that, I mean, of course, I understand. You're like, I'm not gonna do it for free. It's what I do, right? But I will say this: sometimes the
Mm.
best experience you can get, or sometimes in order to get good, you have to do something a lot. So, for
Yeah.
example, my little brother, he cuts hair. So
Mm-hmm.
he's currently in the army, and he's thinking about what he wants to do when his contract is up. And being a barber is on the table for him because he really enjoys it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he needs heads to practice on, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so what he does is, uh, if his buddies are willing to let him practice on them, he cuts their hair, no charge, because it might turn out good, it might turn out bad, and that's how he gets his practice. So like, he's actually in town right now. He doesn't live here. He lives in North Carolina. He's in town right now. I'm due for a haircut because I'm wolfing. But like, he practices on me. He practices on a lot of our buddies. And when he started, I mean, he was absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he is marginally better than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And his whole thing is, I'll cut your hair for free because I need hair to practice on.
Yeah.
And then his whole thing, but a lot of people tell him, no, it's my hair. And so he says, excuse me, he says, if you let me, so like, he has like 3 friends that let him practice on him consistently. And he says, once I get my barber license, those are the only 3 people I'm cutting for free. Everyone else has to pay because at that point I'm a professional. Those
Mm-hmm.
guys, they're getting free cuts because they let me practice on them. I say you should really consider rethinking how you look at that, because a lot of these designs are. I like this one. I like this last one that you got, the checkered one.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like sick. Uh, but I mean, you should think about that because I mean, right now you're still an amateur technically, right? And so
Yeah.
just worry about getting good. Worry
Yeah.
about getting good.
I've done more than what I posted. I just, for some reason, I haven't posted them, and a lot of the stuff I've already done, I've gotten like rid of them, or like I grew out of them, or they just don't fit me, or I wasn't doing it for me. And like, and I did a lot of stuff for free. That's the thing. And now, like, I've been practicing a lot, and I think I've gotten pretty good. And my thing is, like, all the stuff I want to do, like the shoes itself are really, really expensive. I would have to buy the shoes for these people, and I'd have to paint it and take time to paint it and use a lot of supplies and stuff. That's why I'm like, well, I mean, I can't really do it necessarily for free because I've done a lot of stuff like for my friends, like that for free. And I mean, I've painted stuff like for my friends for free before, and like now like I would get low on supplies and be like, okay, I need to start charging because
I'm tracking. So you should
yeah.
just come up. I mean, do you have like a business model at all? Because if you like, I mean, hey, bring your shoes. I'll do the shoes you have. Fucking, charge just for the cost of materials or whatever. But just while you're getting started, because dude, like, what you're gonna want to do is you want to saturate like your Instagrams and stuff with that content, because that's really the way the world is moving, man. I see so many like young people who have these really cool like business things where they sell like, there's this one young lady I've seen who sells like shift knobs like for manual transmission cars. She like makes like shift knobs and like she sells them on like Instagram or something.
Yeah.
And so I mean there's a market for that stuff. But I mean, awesome. I mean, if you've thought about it, then that's great. But
Yeah.
that's sick. Starting a business is hard.
Yeah, I have okay, so I had a main account on my Instagram that I've had like since like 2016. It got hacked, and I had a lot of art posts on there, and it was getting a lot of attention, and it got hacked, and I lost everything. I have another account that hasn't gotten taken down yet, but it's like just like simple sketches and stuff that I did when I was little that I would take pictures of, like stuff I would follow on YouTube, like I don't know, stuff like that. Like that was something I drew like when I was like 8 or something. But this is something I posted recently, which I need to switch it over to the other account. But that was something I followed off of the video. But like I it's just like stuff I'm getting ideas here and there. I do need to keep on posting on that because I really need to grow it. But I'm just like recently I've been finding a lot of like I don't have like motivation to do some of this stuff, like, or I have no inspirations, like some like stuff I want to paint. I'm like, I don't know what to paint, so I'm just not gonna do it. And then I get like caught up in life and stuff, and then I completely forget about it, and then it comes up. Well, I need to get started on that because I find a way to make money, especially now since I can't really get a job anywhere. Because I can't wear masks. Like I have medical conditions that like prevent me from wearing mask places, and I can't get a job because of that. Because everywhere you have to have a mask on. So now I'm like trying to find a way to make money. Like so I need to start my own business, but it's like really, really, really difficult. You know, I've been trying here now. So, but it's
why can't you wear a mask?
My okay. So I have like really, really bad claustrophobia, and I can't have things on my face, and I have like one of the what is it called? It's like a touch sensory. I can't remember what it like for certain things, like on my face, like my face gets like super itchy if something is on my face, and I have like severe asthma. So if I'm like breathing used air like that and like having it like this, like it causes me to like have an anxiety or panic attack, and my asthma flares up and I can't breathe and like freak out and stuff like that. So, and I've had doctors tell me, they're like, most people that have asthma, we told them it's not a good idea for you to wear, like, and people are just gonna have to accept that. But a lot of places get a job because I can't, which sucks. So I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. Now I have to like buckle down and try to find motivation, inspiration for some of this stuff and get it started. So
yeah, man, I myself hit a rut a few months ago. I was like 6 months ago. It was like when COVID first shut everything down. But I've learned, like, I've realized everyone kind of hit a rut there. It's been kind of interesting, you know. See,
yeah,
like we live. I mean, look, we're living through something that like a lot of people haven't, you know.
yeah,
Like I think about my great grandpa. My great grandpa was born like after the Spanish flu and died before COVID. And so my great grandpa never lived through a pandemic. You
yeah,
know? And that's quite fascinating. It's presented a lot of weird challenges, you know?
yeah,
And I mean, I was right there with you. About 60 of my Warzone wins were when all I could like muster up to do was fucking get up and waste my life on a game for like, oh my gosh, I was playing so many games. It was insane. And I mean, obviously it wasn't good. And yeah, it can be hard, man. It can be hard. I definitely sympathize with that.
yeah,
You know what tends to be my vice is or like something that I struggle with is I play guitar, and I've been playing guitar for like 8 to 9 years now, and I love it, and I love it so much, and just I have so like I love it. I've got 2 acoustic guitars. I've got like 4 electric guitars. I've got a bunch of pedals. I love it. But like I'll get busy doing theater stuff because you know I love theater and like that's what I'm trying to do like professionally. Music I do for fun. Professionally I make theater and like yeah and like and so sometimes I'll look at my guitars and I'll be like I haven't touched you in 2 months. I haven't touched you in 3 months. And I think it's probably just the power of habit, you know. You know, I make time for Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, I don't think to touch the guitar, and I've definitely learned my lesson because if you don't use it, you lose it. That's so true. And I know because you know I'll play. You know, at one point I picked up my guitar again, and I was like buzzing all over my fretboard. Do you know what buzzing is? Basically, it's like when hold on. There's a guitar right here. I'll just show you. So like You hear that? This is buzzing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what
Sounds
that
like
is.
it's farting, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day I went like 6 months without picking up my guitar, and I was like, "What the?" Like, I was like, "Golly, I need to play," and I played, and I was buzzing all over the neck, and I was like, "Wow!" Like my finger strength was going away, and and I was just like, "Dang, I need to not go this long without playing again." So now I try to make sure to play like at least once a week. And I should be playing once a day. I should be at the very least picking up and practicing for 20, 30 minutes a day. Because, man, like, art is a beautiful thing. And it really sucks when, like, the shittiness of the world gets in the way of making it. You know? So I think when you're an artist, you've got to find a way to, like, you know, use your time wisely or have a little bit of discipline and, you know, pick up the guitar or, you know, pick up the paintbrush or whatever it is. Because, man, like, when it gets rough, it's so easy to just say, I don't want to do anything right now. Especially because the guitar is, like, or art in general is, like, work, you know? It's typically, I don't know about you, but for me, like, I love playing the guitar, but I can only improv over, like, a certain progression for so long before I get bored and I'm like, okay, I need to come up with something new. And then I find a new progression and I loop that, and then it's like, okay, now and like it's work, right? You're constantly working, or you're trying to solo, or for me, it's like I'm trying to solo, and I like I land on the wrong note, you know, and it's like, oh fuck, you know, like you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing about art, man, you know. But it's hard to keep up when times are rough. You're absolutely right about that. I'm starting a theater company right now. And golly, it's been hard. Because I started it like, just coming out of that rut is when I started it. And I mean, obviously, I mean, you know, I'm a human. There's been highs and lows since then. And it's hard, dude. It's really, really, really hard. But with discipline and a little bit of elbow grease, man, you'd be surprised how far you can get. One strategy I'm trying is I'm starting a theater company with my buddy. And with two of my friends, real close friends. And my buddy, it was his idea. He was like, dude, what if every day I come over and we just work? 12 to 5, we just do company stuff. And that's what we've been doing. He shows up at around 12. Or no, it's not 12 to 5. He usually leaves at 6:30. So it's like 12 to 6:30. Usually I like make us a meal, have a quick lunch, and then we just work. And setting out that time helps so much. So much.
It like helps you find the motivation and like
exactly, because if you don't tell yourself, okay, from 2 to 5 I'm going to use the company as an example. From 1 to 5 or from 1 to 6:30 I need to work on my play, right? Cuz right now I'm working on like 2 or 3 freaking plays and it's freaking exhausting. But if I tell myself 1 to 6:30 and I sit down at 1 and it's 1:10 and I haven't started, I'm a piece of shit, you know? It's just like, wow, like what am I'm literally just sitting here wasting time. And so I think it's all about balance and finding, so like I'm doing the YouTube thing right now too, right? And so for me right now what's working is I get up at like 8, I work on YouTube 9 to 12. So 9 to 12, I edit whatever footage I have, or I shoot a video and edit it, shoot it up there. 12 o'clock, my boy arrives. 12 to 1, I'm making lunch, we're hanging out, we're doing our thing. We eat or we go out to lunch or something. 1 o'clock, it's work time. We sit down and we work 1 to 6:30. If something comes up, he has to leave earlier, that's fine. We worked 1 to 4, we worked 1 to 5, whatever. And then he gets to go take care of other life and other work things. And then after that, I get to do, you know, if I want to work more on YouTube after, I'll do that. Or I'll, you know, or if I want to play games, I'll do that. Or if I want to go see my sister, I'll do that. But I'm definitely finding that the more structure I add to my life, and this is coming from someone who's like my gosh, I've done like 4 years of college. I've had, jobs. I've had, a bunch of jobs. I'm learning that structure is absolutely pivotal because I think a lot of people fly through life by the seat of their pants. Mm-hmm. And I know I was for a really long time, and even now sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing right now? And I think structure is pivotal, man. Look at all the most successful people in the world. Or even look at the most successful people on like TikTok or Instagram, or even these silly little things that are little jokes to us. If you have discipline and structure, like you can I think you can have some serious success.
Yeah.
And so if you just, I don't know, consider setting aside time to sit down and, okay, I'm going to draw today. And even if you're sitting there, just, I don't know, turn off the phone though, 100%. I know I have to. When I'm writing.
A lot.
You're what?
I said I have to do that a lot. I'm not like just, I have to turn my phone off so I'm like not distracted or anything. Like I'll have to just, I'll turn it off or give it to my mom or something. Like I need you to like keep this on me for like an hour or something. Like I know I get what you're saying a lot, and my thing is I have a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I have like no motivation to do any of it. And I want to do this painting stuff. I want to play my games. I want to do like my TikTok stuff. I want to get started on a lot of things. I'm starting to like do workout stuff, and I'm trying to like schedule that, and I have to like make time for God, and I'm really, really, really struggling with that. Like I'm like really struggling to like get into my own like Bible study. Like this is terrible, but I cannot tell you the last time I did Bible study. It's been a really long time, and it's terrible. I know this has absolutely nothing to do with art, but like I can't. It's because I'm like so focused on other things. Like I can literally feel myself like drifting from God because I'm not motivated to get into the word and stuff. And it really sucks because like I want to and I need to. Especially now I need to. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I have all this to do and then I can't do it, or I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it, but I need to start this. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm human, and I know a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen it, a lot of people on my TikTok are attacking me because I have God first in my bio, and they're all like, well, if you're saying this, that's not God first. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm not perfect. I'm not. And I'm really working on, I'm human. Especially since this whole COVID thing, like, it's like I've lost motivation for everything because it's like, it feels like the whole world is like shutting down and there's nothing I can do about it except for sit here and watch it. Like, I need to be more prioritized with my time instead of just sitting here like on TikTok and doing all this stuff. Like I need to make time for my art. I need to make time for the Bible. I need to make time for a lot of other stuff. Like I need to make time for trying to start this business thing. I need to make maybe a little less time for TikTok than anything else, but I'm working on it. I am.
Dude, just hold yourself accountable. It's the only way you're going to get anything done. Tell yourself, when we finish this, do it. When we finish this, take that challenge and just do it. Sit down, pull out your calendar, and schedule your time. I know for me, what I like to do is I like to sit down, look at my calendar, 9 to 12 YouTube, Monday through Friday. 1 to 6:30, working on TFRP, 6:30 to 9, right? For me, I like to have that kind of unscheduled. But even then, having it unscheduled sometime, I do end up wasting a lot of it. So, I mean, you just got to schedule it, man, because, I mean, I'm tracking you. That problem that you just articulated is not unique. That is not just you. It is not just me. It is the reason, like, that The Rock is
totally
The
cut
Rock.
Out there. Hold on. What did you?
Check. Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Great.
It was frozen for a little bit, but I got.
Okay.
Yeah. I have my own like I have a notebook right here where I don't have a calendar, but I made one right here for stuff I need to do like every day. And then I have like a logging stuff for what I actually did that day versus what I was supposed to do, all this stuff. And like, I haven't done it like yesterday. Well, I did some of it, but I really haven't started on it. And I had a specific date I was supposed to start, which was like 4 days ago, and I didn't do it. And I have I have a workout calendar in there, and I have like certain days, like I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday where I'm working out. And I was supposed to start like a few days ago, and I haven't done it. Yesterday I was supposed to work out, and I didn't. And I like last night I had a full on mental breakdown, and I just laid in bed all day yesterday and like cried. Like I couldn't get up. Like and like it was one of those days where I just like I felt like crap. Like okay. You know how so you know the last meeting we said I have really tough skin, right?
Yep.
And I do have really tough skin, but like, and because of that, I literally haven't cried in like 5 or 6 months. And last night I cried for a good 4 hours. And I'm just gonna say it felt really good, honestly, because it was almost like a release, and I was like, okay. And now today I'm like, okay, I kind of feel like crap, but I need to do stuff. I need to get up because I need to be more positive. Yes, I may feel like crap, but maybe if I distract myself and find more things to do, I'll get more motivated, and then I'll completely forget about my problems, which is kind of a good thing, because if you completely forget about it, it's not a problem anymore. So
I don't know if you should forget about them, but I definitely think that being busy is good.
Like in that moment, if you forget about it in that moment, it's not your problem.
Like while later, you're working, like while you're okay, yeah, 100%.
I worded it a little weird, but I meant like if you distract yourself and trying to get yourself busy and maybe like find motivation, that your problem of like not like being all woe is me won't necessarily be a problem anymore. Yeah, it'll probably come up later, but then you can be like, okay, well, now that I found motivation for stuff, I know how to fix this problem. Just, it's hard to explain, but I don't mean like completely forget about it.
I'm tracking.
But
yeah, dude, you're like you're about to start your life, and I mean I still am starting to start my life, and freaking yeah, man, it's the power of habit, it's have you heard of that before, the power of habit?
I've heard of it. I'm still trying to figure out what it necessarily means.
So it's like who you so think about, how do I put it? Okay, you ever heard someone say it's the little things in life, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's true. It's the little things in life, because life is filled with little things, right? Mm-hmm. It's just thousands of little things happening one after the other. And what were we talking about just now? I was gonna make a point.
Power of habit.
Power of habit. Okay, thank you. And so it's the little things in life, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's true. Like practically, it's really, really true. And so think about habit for a second. Like, okay, think about habits that you might have. So for me, let me think. What are some habits that I have? Golly, I can't think of them, but the way picking up your phone, right? You have a habit of picking up your phone. Okay, this is a good one. I hate when people like pick up their phone while I'm talking to them. Like when I'm speaking with someone and they go like, the phone comes out and they just start, I'm listening. Oh my gosh. To me, that's like the biggest like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about what you're saying. Yeah, this is more important than you in this moment. Yeah, okay, yeah, I hate it. And I think it's rude, yeah. And I've done it, and sometimes I still do it, and it's totally horrific. And I think I think it's one of the worst habits that people have. And like that habit right there could be the difference between like success and failure in like a relationship, right? Of any kind. How many times, I've heard so many times, two people in a romantic relationship, let's say, you're always on your phone. You're always on your phone. You're always picking up are you even listening to me? You're on your phone again, right? Now we're talking about something fundamental, right? Communication and the feeling of importance someone has when in regard to their romantic other is being compromised because of this habit. Because someone has this horrible habit. Oh,
bless you.
Thank you. Because someone has this horrible habit of picking up their phone over and over again, right? And it can be a huge thing. I've seen it so many countless times. I've seen it. I mean countless, literally. Husbands yelling at their wives, wives yelling at their husbands, friends yelling at each other, all right, I'll wait till you're done. That kind of thing. And it shouldn't be taken lightly, I think the power of habit is such, and that's just one example. But it's like waking up late. That's a habit, right? That's a horrible habit. A lot of people, if they're doing, let's say they have a day off, or they have a job and they're late to their job a lot, or they have a day scheduled to do something and they wake up late, right? Because they do it out of habit. Like that can have some pretty bad consequences, right? Because now this fundamental thing called timeliness, you're ruining because of bad habits. And it's just, I think the biggest difference I've seen when it comes to like regular people and people who like I would consider like successful people. I'm not saying that like, and I don't mean successful like celebrities and like millionaires. That's not what I mean. I mean like, like there are people who get by, and then there are people who get after it. There are people who have a family and they're getting after it with their family. They have a career, they're getting after it with their career. Even on the weekends, they're up early doing something productive. Like that's what I'm talking about, right? The difference I've seen with those people and like regular people is that regular people they have a fuck ton of horrible habits. And I think that's huge. Just like look at The Rock. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every day. You know what I'm saying? To work. He's a millionaire. Oh my gosh. He's he might be the most famous man alive right now. I'd say it's a tie between like him and Donald Trump probably. And like it's insane, and it's just that it's the power of habit. Even TikTok and Instagram, like the people who are on there like really doing the influencer grind, like they're waking up and they're starting their day at a certain time. They're making sure they're uploaded by this time so they can be at their job by this time. Or Call of Duty YouTubers, you know what I'm saying? Like I think about them. I was just hearing some of them talk. Sometimes they've got to wake up at this time, play for 5 hours so they can have the upload done by this time, get footage, get a good, you know what I'm saying? It's the power of habit. And I've had so many bad habits. I still have some really, really bad habits. And I think if we don't like look at those and address them, it's just going to be, oh my gosh, you're not going to get anywhere. I know for me, like I'm citing the company a lot because that's something that I'm doing right now. Like it's not like every day it's taking up a lot of my attention and effort. And it's my job right now, really, starting this company. And so like there are days, or before we started like meeting every day, it was like we weren't flying by the seat of our pants, I would say, but we were handling things as they came, right? We were handling things as they came. So we were getting somewhere, but it kind of didn't feel like we were getting there as fast as we could. And then once we started setting aside that time, we started moving a whole lot faster. And I think that's what it boils down to, is just habit,
I agree with that.
Hold on, you're cutting out. Just give it a second to reconnect. Okay, it should maybe.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just a little laggy, but it looks doable. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say that I agree with that. Like I said, habit. Bad habit. I don't know. My habit. Okay, my habit is I tend to just stay in my room and not really talk to anyone, and I'm on my phone. That's my bad habit. Like, a habit I need to get out of. Like, the only time I come out of my room is to like leave and go hang out with my boyfriend or something. But I need to like set more of a persistent schedule that I need to follow by, and because to me, my habit is it's really bad. Like I have like no communication with anyone outside of my room, and because of this whole COVID thing, it's like I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, it's really sad. Like, it's like I almost don't even want to talk to my family because like that sounds terrible. I know it sounds terrible. But it's like I have like no motivation to get up and go out of my room and talk to my family, because it's not like there's anything new. It's not like there's anything we can really talk about except for what did you do today? Oh, well, I laid in bed. Cool, me too. You know, I need to actually get out there and do stuff with my family, and I need to like get out of bed, set more of a schedule, and I need to like clean my room. I need to work out. I need to do stuff. Like I said, like that needs to be my habit, not laying in bed and being on my phone. You know, like, and I know you were saying power of habit, like that's like your thing that you go by. My thing, it's not like a habit quote, but it's always find the silver lining or something. Like it's basically like look for the good things in life instead of the bad things. Like, I have a really hard time with doing that. Like there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world right now. Like, really bad things, and it's like everyone's all down in this rut, like you said. Like, everyone is like bogged down. There's like nothing to do, you know. Everything's shut down. Like, the whole world is basically like it's like the Great Depression times two. Like, you know, and it's like, you know, it's hard to find the good things in life, but like me, if I stop doing that bad habit and like get out of bed and do something like productive, or like find the motivation and the inspiration to do some of this stuff, there will be more silver linings to look for. Like, and I'll actually open my eyes and see all this good stuff that's happening. You know, if I did that more often, I would probably be more of a happier person than I am. But, you know, like, I'm working on it. Like I said, I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. You know, I'm not perfect, but I do need to find that motivation and stop, you know, bad habits and stuff, like you said.
But it sounds like you found it. It sounds like you know what the problem is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like, that's the thing. Like, I know what the problem is. It's just, my thing is taking action on it and actually fixing it. Like, it's like I have no motivation to fix it. I want to, but I have no like motivation because of this. Like, I'm not blaming everything on COVID, but since it started, it's like my depression has gone downhill, my motivation has gone downhill, my inspiration's gone downhill, my will to communicate with other people has gone downhill. You know, social anxiety, just because I haven't been out talking to people. It's like whenever I go to talk to someone, like, I already have social anxiety before this whole thing, but since it started, I'm just like, and now I don't want to talk to people because now it's terrifying because you don't know what to say. It's like I haven't had human interaction in like 9 months, so it's like, yeah, I know what the problem is. I do need to fix it, but like I said, there's like no motivation. Need to find it. Like, need to find that motivation.
You got to make the motivation. Look, when we hang up, when we end this, you've got to do it, Savannah. Just do it. Just sit down, pull out your schedule, give yourself a time to wake up, give yourself a time to start working on painting stuff if that's what you want to go for, or something else. But you have to sit and you just got to do it. You probably have every single tool you need. You know, you've got a computer, you've got a phone. Goodness gracious, you can start a business with just that, you know? So just sit down and just make it happen. Pull up the calendar app. It doesn't have to be this big inspirational moment. Just pull out your phone, calendar, 8 a.m. alarm, 9 a.m. alarm, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. alarm, whenever you want. By 12 p.m., if you're out of class, whatever, do this. 5 to 6, go on a run, do this. 6 to 7, draw something, do this. 7 to 8, do TikTok, this, or whatever it is, you know? Because if you don't, because here's the thing. What I think is a trap, Savannah, is that language of find the motivation. Because you're not going to find it. Because motivation isn't hiding from you. Motivation isn't, it's not going to just walk into your door one day. Motivation, you have to make it happen. You see what I'm saying? And it's like a muscle, right? You're not going to get more and more motivated until you start making motivation happen, until you start motivating yourself. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not that much older than you. I'm not some millionaire. I don't know. I'm not saying I've got the secret to life here. But what I will say is that the successes that I have had, I have noticed they just happen to all come from setting time constraints, waking up early, setting rules for myself, giving myself things that I have to get done, right? Flying by the seat of your pants, it's never gonna, riding the wave it's just never gonna work, right? So like, think about TikTok even, right? So like, you've got a lot of followers right now, right? And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it's almost like you kind of got them by accident almost. You were doing it and then one day you just had 20,000, right?
Yeah.
There are people right now who are part of their living is TikTok. Think about that. This thing that you do passively, let's say, right? Not saying you know what I'm saying, but just because you said that like you lay, and you do that a lot. Think about this thing that most of us do passively. We just go, heart, go, heart, go, heart. For us, for a lot of people, it's just scrolling and friggin' hitting heart. But then there are people out there who for them, it's wake up at 8 a.m., start my day. Wake up at 7 a.m., start my day. Wake up at 4 a.m., go on a run, whatever it is. And they have structure to their day. And TikTok is somewhere in there. And they've got 20K, 40K, 100K, 150K, a million followers, all this stuff. And it's a part of their living. You know what I mean? And it's evident just looking at their TikTok that like they have shit going on, And I think you're not going to find that. I mean, you're not going to get to that point by accident. You can't wait for motivation. You can't find the motivation. You've got to create the motivation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm sitting here talking to you. We've talked a couple times now. And, I mean, I think you're a really nice girl. I think probably it sounds like you've got a lot of aspirations and stuff. But if you if you take potential and you don't act on it, it's just going to sit there and do nothing. Or like, not saying that you're sitting on it, right? But I'm just, speaking just stream of consciousness here. Or like, do you know who Lin-Manuel Miranda is?
I don't.
So do you know what Hamilton is?
Yeah.
He wrote Hamilton.
Okay.
He goes, and I believe it's him who said this. I might be wrong. I believe he's the one that said, and if you have an idea and you don't write it, it's always going to be just an idea. Mm-hmm. Right? So as a writer, that's his thing. If I have an idea and I don't write that, then what the fuck? Like, it's just sitting there. It's like a piece of fruit in your fridge, It's just sitting there. And then eventually it's going to rot, it's going to get moldy, and you're going to have to throw it away, Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the same thing, I think. Like, you've got to just do these things. You want to paint shoes. Start that. Like, start it, like, seriously. And it sounds like there have been moments where you were, but then the rut catches you, right? And that's fine. It's caught me. It catches a lot of us. But then I think it's about getting up and creating that motivation again. Because if you don't create it, it's just going to, oh my gosh, you're just riding the wave, Mm-hmm. And again, it's not unique. It's not a Savannah thing. It's not a Carlos thing. It's a people thing. We live in a world where most of us have food in our fridge. Most of us have a roof over our head. And so when we have these things, the human spirit, I think, kind of goes, oh, well, what do I do, Because everywhere else in the world where they don't have that, they've got to find it, right? So for them, they can't sit on their hands. They don't have that choice. We do have that choice a lot of the time. As long as we're doing just enough to get the bills paid and stuff, like, what do we do with the rest of the time that we have? Do we just sit on it and get depressed and scroll through social medias and, watch porn and do this and do that and do all these things that are horrible for us, but that are just really easy to do? Or do we structure our lives and make it so that these things that are hard to do become become less misguided? It becomes more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think even like, cause I find you on TikTok and we talk about TikTok a lot, but like, even on your TikTok, like, cause like when I saw your TikTok, I was like, wow, this girl is mean. This girl is so mean. And I mean, I'm sure that a lot of your TikTok is like, I'm sure you're a rougher person by nature, maybe, and there's nothing wrong with that. My sister's she's tough as nails, right? Like, I've met a lot of people who are like that. They're just grittier. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. We need gritty people. We need them because, especially today, there's a lot of soft people, right? So, I mean, a gritty personality is totally fine, I think. But, I mean, even looking at your TikTok, I can kind of feel that, like, some of the videos there might be a result of, like, responses to things that are happening on your phone, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, constantly. And it's like, if we don't get up and just make ourselves do things, we might start making choices and articulating ourselves in ways that maybe aren't even that true to us. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, like, so I've recently started this whole YouTube thing. And so I'm very new to it. And I was off of social media by and large. Like, I was never really a heavy social media person. Because I know the evil of social media. I know the danger of it. And so early on in my life, I was like, I'm not doing it. And so I would get it and I would use it like only a tiny bit. On just, I'm in a play. Come check this out. But, now I'm doing this YouTube thing and, you want to be everywhere and always on the sphere. And even me, like, my gosh, like, there are times where I'm like, fuck, like I'll talk to someone in a way, like someone might leave a nasty comment and I'll say something to them in a way that I don't speak, Mm-hmm. And I'm a pretty harsh person. I can be quite harsh. But I'll say something that's just like, just to be mean. I mean, I'll just to be mean. Because when somebody tells you on the internet, like, hey, you're a fucking fat piece of shit, you want to go, well, you're a fucking idiot, and you want to do that whole thing. And I think that's on all social media platforms. And, having discipline and saying, get what you need to get done by this time, get off, live your life, get back on, upload the video, or get back on, engage, like the comments, whatever, then get off again. It can be hard. It can be hard to find that balance. But I mean, I'm finding it right now. I think I know what the answer is. I just need to stop checking everything. I think like I have an obsession with checking things, and it's not necessary. You've got to just let it happen. Find time to work.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I agree with that. My thing is, like, there's a lot of people like before that video got taken down, like, there was a lot of comments. Like, every time I would open the app, if I would stay off of it for like 30 minutes or something like that, I would come back and it would have at least 500 comments or something on it. Like, I would completely ignore it. My thing is, I like to check like all of my comments. I have a problem with that, and I just stopped doing that because if I see every little comment that bothers me, I'm gonna want to address every single one of them, and it's gonna build up anger inside of me. And it's just going to ruin my day, and it's just going to cause all these problems when really, if I just ignore it, like I'm telling everyone else to ignore me, if I'm not ignoring them, it's kind of hypocritical, honestly. And it's like, and like, hey, if you don't like it, just block me. And like, well, it could go both ways. Like, I could just block them, or I could just ignore them. Like, I'm telling them to ignore me, or just keep scrolling. Like, I just need to keep scrolling. Like, just ignore it, or just get off of it completely. Like I have that problem. Like, I have to know like what everyone's saying. Like if it's available to me, for me to see what people are saying, I have to know everything that everyone's saying to me. So it's not like people are talking behind my back. But recently, like whenever I turn those comments off, like I don't know if you had seen, like I had my comments turned off on like all of my video, well, not all of them because I had a lot, but for as many as I could, because I would rather turn off my comments and my duets and stitches and have people talk behind my back rather than me seeing everything and it personally affecting me and dragging me down and having all these problems when I can just ignore it. And now I have my comments on and I'm falling back into that problem again of checking it all. But now I'm just kind of like, okay, ignore it. People are like you said last time, people are going to talk shit. Let them talk shit amongst themselves. Like that's their problem, not mine. Yes, it's on my account, but that's their problem, and I leave it alone. People are going to have their own opinions. Like I said, not everyone's going to agree with me. Like I like Trump. Everyone hates that. Everyone thinks I'm a piece of shit because of it. But that's on them, not me. Like I need to learn to ignore it. Like that's my thing. I need to learn to ignore it. It's really, really, really hard, especially some of the things that people say about me. It's like, you know, like it's kind of hurtful, but you know, I'm tough. You know, I don't really care, but at the same time, okay, like why did they feel the need to say that kind of thing? And I have to like address it, and then it just gives them fuel to bother me more, like, you know, stuff like that.
You know, every time you say you're tough, I start to believe you a little bit less.
Yeah, I am, listen, I'm tough. Yes, things personally affect me, but I don't let it like drag me down as much as like most of it you would think would. Like I'm tougher. I'm tougher than what I seem like. You know, like, oh, I'll say that things bother me, but really I'm just kind of like it's whatever, because they aren't me. They're not in my life. They are no one like important to me, so I don't have to listen to them, kind of thing. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have my moments where I'm thinking like, you know, like, wow, maybe I am a piece of shit. Maybe I do need to calm down. But I'm one of those people. I'm out there. I'm a straightforward person. If I come off as a bitch, then I guess I'm a bitch. But I mean, you know, I'm very straightforward. I'm not going to like sugarcoat things. I'm not going to sweet talk you and be like, oh, well, here's the thing. No, I'm going to be like, look, this is the deal. This is how I feel. If you don't have to agree with me, you know, whatever. And whatever people say, it's not my problem. Like, I don't really care. I mean, I do in a sense, but it's not like I'm going to just let them, like, it affect me as I'm like, you know, I have tough skin. I'm not going to let that knife that they're jabbing in me, like, slip and, like, hurt me. Like, it's like, you know, whatever.
So. Yeah, I'm tracking you. It's a balance for sure. But, I mean, as you have learned, I think recently, even the gritty ones among us can get our feelings hurt. That's why, dude, I'm sure that, like, yeah, I'm sure you know Ben Shapiro, right?
Who?
Ben Shapiro.
I've heard of him.
Oh, really? You don't know Ben Shapiro? You might be
I've heard the name. I don't know who it is.
You might be his number one fan if you heard of Ben Shapiro, girl. He's a conservative voice right now, and super famous right now. Just the dude is incredibly successful, and I'm sure he does not read his comments because you can't, you know. Oh, I forgot who said this, but there's this saying, and it goes something like this. If on your way to success, you stop and throw rocks at everyone who's throwing them at you, you're never going to get there. I mean, I just think about that. If on your way to success, you throw rocks at everyone who's throwing rocks at you, you're never going to get there. You never will, you know? And I mean, I think the way that might translate here in the social media space and in the virtual space, I mean, I think the comments is probably a huge part of that. You know, I couldn't imagine being. I think it's easier for me because I grew up like like, I grew up kind of rough, so, like, I have tough skin, like, by nature. But I couldn't imagine being, like, like, hold on. Okay. I couldn't imagine being, like, a young girl who's, like, on social media from the age of, like, 12. I couldn't imagine that. And, like, because, especially, like, in your position, because you're pretty young, you know? So, I mean, you probably started when you were, like, becoming a teenager, and that's, like, especially, like, the persona you've got going on. I'm sure, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm sure that gets to you, you know? I mean, because we're all human beings, you know what I'm saying? And,
I social media since I was like 11 or 12 years old, and like really just this year I'm really seeing how crazy people are, like how mean people can be. Like, yeah, I'm mean, but like some of the things people say are like they're ridiculous. Like
but you know
people
why
cross.
but you know why they're saying them, Savannah?
Mm-hmm.
Because they would never say it to your face. They're saying it because they're behind a screen.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. Like I had you have Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, like all these people, they post what they call YOLO, and they're like a bunch of anonymous messages. Like you have no idea who on your friends list is saying them. But I started that last year, and I was just doing it for fun. That's what people do. I got all these kinds of shit comments. So I was like, wow, it really shows you like who your friends are. Like, you know, it really shows you that people who you think are your friends really aren't. Like, even if you don't necessarily know who said them, you really see how shitty people can be. Like, they're hidden behind a screen. They're not going to say it to your face. They're not going to reveal who they are. So you could be all like, wow, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. Like, you know, a lot of people, this one girl on my comment, she was like, oh, I memorize your face. If I ever see you in person, I'm doxing you and I'm going to fight you on site. I'm like, no, you're not. She goes, I will. If I ever see you in Target and all this stuff, I'm going to beat you to a pulp. I'm like, no, you won't. No, you won't. She goes, I will, and I won't care about the consequences. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you would. You know,
Swear.
I'm not worried about it. If people find me in public, sure, whatever. If they shit talk me, sure, I'll just walk away. I don't care. I mean, they're not going to actually hurt me, and if they do, I mean, I have pepper spray. I have a phone. I can call the cops. There's a bunch of witnesses around me. I mean, because if they try to hurt me, obviously, I'm sure someone's going to step up and be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah, social media is just toxic. I think that YOLO thing has always fascinated me because, and I want you to think about this. Snapchat is, look, don't quote me. It's got to be $1 billion company. If it's not, then hundreds of millions, right? It baffles me the idea that probably a bunch of grown men and grown women were sitting in a boardroom going, we need to add a new feature that young kids are going to love. So why don't we do an anonymous messaging thing? And probably someone at the meeting went, ooh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. But wait, what if people start being shitty to each other? Like, what if people start like getting things off their chest because they know it's anonymous? There was probably someone who went, they're going to use the feature even more if that happens, you know? Or, you know, that's just speculation, you know? But, I mean, I think it's obvious, you know? The YOLO thing is obvious. It's one of two things. It's a thirst trap so that some, like, girl who has her booty all over her Instagram or Snapchat gets to be like, oh, wow, like, you know, it's either a thirst trap or it's probably going to be really negative, you know? And maybe it's positive sometimes, whatever, but I'm sure no one has to go that far to see that negatives outweigh the positives and that negative in general gets way more attention on social media. I think social media, I think it should not be lawful to have a social media if you're under 18.
Yeah, I agree. I had that YOLO thing like last year. I had all that stuff going on. I had like 50 people on my Snapchat. I have no idea who half those people were. I unadded all of them except for like 4 people, and now I have like 4 or 5 people on my Snap, and I barely use it anymore because there's no point. It's just it's basically just like text message. Like it's just another way to text people and an easier way to just snap pictures. Like really it.
Well, I mean, it's a market. It's a social media influence market. You know, you've got the subscribe
That's
feature.
I use it.
Yeah, I'm tracking you. Yeah, for sure. I think social media is a huge problem, and I think people don't talk about it enough. It's like with mass shootings. I think the reason mass shootings are at an all-time high in the U.S. is because of social media. Now, it's not social media's fault if someone pulls up, picks up a gun and shoots someone, right? Like, sure, maybe you can't say, like, if social media didn't exist, he wouldn't have done that. But also, maybe if social media didn't exist, he wouldn't have done that. Because, like, and I'm sure you've gone through this. I remember I was, like, 14, and I had Snapchat, and, you know, it's the Snapchat thing. Everyone is posting how great their lives are. You're sitting around, you're like, wow, my life kind of sucks, and you get depressed. And I realized then, I was like, I'm getting off of this because I think there's no good to it. And I learned then immediately that, like, Snapchat is it's really easy to get depressed there, and it's really easy to get nihilistic, and it's really easy to think that, like, everyone is you know, you see someone who has it so much better off, and it's just like, yeah, fuck you, like, you know, like, my life is kind of hard, like, fuck you, you know, or whatever, or I want my life to be just as good as that, or, you know, and I mean, that's definitely not a reasonable way to act, but I think that's the natural result of a young person in particular, like a young teenager who's still growing. Like, I think that's the natural result when you put a freaking Instagram on their phone, and now, like, I'm a young girl looking at an Instagram influencer who's only 1 year older than me, or she's my age, and she puts her butt all over the place, and she's super skinny, and so she got some, you know what I'm saying? Like, or being a young man, and it's kind of the same thing, like, seeing all that toxicity. And I think social media is 100% the reason that mass shootings are as prevalent as they are. I mean, it's not even disputable that it's the cause for, like, suicidality amongst, like, young women, and, like, depression in young women. And that literature is crystal clear. And so I think, I think if there's anything that needs to be really focused on is social media. And that's why, like, BLM, and that's why, like, BLM baffles me. You know, a lot of, there's another movement, but whatever. That's why the movements that tend to get the spotlight kind of baffle me. Sorry?
Were you thinking Antifa?
Maybe. What I mean is, really, the instances of whichever ones they are aren't even relevant. I mean, like, whenever there's a popular movement, it baffles me because it's never been, let's get rid of social media, or let's put restrictions on social media. Or it's like the same thing with, like, gun control. Like, let's get rid of guns. Like, should we get rid of guns, or should we get rid of, like, the only thing that's been pretty much proven to increase, like, nihilism, depression, and suicidality in young people? But it blows me because it's like, and it's, you know, that side of the aisle I don't think has ever mentioned that, as far as I know. If they have, you know, comment, but is how, because we want to, you know, we care about people, we care about lives, we care about people getting killed, we care about this, we care about that. If that's true, why aren't we regulating social media? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't we putting a real age restriction? Because, like, yeah, there is an age restriction on social media, but, like, it's not enforced, you know? Like, all you have to do is lie about your age and you're in, right? And so I think it should be way more, it should be way harder to get in, because I think really, social media is the biggest problem in our culture. I think that much is crystal clear. That's why everyone who voted Biden hates anyone who voted Trump. That's why anyone who voted Trump hates anyone who voted Biden. And yes, I'm speaking in generalizations because there are reasonable people amongst us. But the idea that I'm driving at here is like, if you put that freaking flag, like in your window or something, you're probably going to wake up to an egg or two one day, Like, that's just the nature of it. And, I mean, there's been countless instances of people repping Trump getting harassed or whatever. And, vice versa. Like, people like to pick on each other, and it's in violent ways, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that is the result of social media, Because, I mean, what's the nastiest thing I think I've ever seen someone post? If you voted for Trump, you voted for misogyny, you voted for racism, you voted for rape, you voted like pro-rape, you voted against my body, you voted this, you voted that, unfriend me. It's like, it's absolutely gross because it's like we all have different reasons for voting the way we do, eating the cereal that we eat. Like, we all live such different lives in terms of like our everyday. And we all have different, a lot of the times we have different reasons for doing things. And social media really makes it seem like everyone is on one side. Like you're either with us or you're against us. And it's like, no, dude, like, look, I saw your TikTok. I thought it was really mean, a lot of it. But like, I'm not going to make that like, because but like, I also wanted the opportunity to sit down and talk with you, I mean, and I think you're super cool. I think you're really dope. And I mean, my last collab was with this girl who's super BLM, and I don't think she gets it at all, but she was super chill. She was super, like, she had a heart, you know what I'm saying? As far as I can tell, she had a heart of gold, and I'm glad that I got to know her. And there's this, like, you're with us or you're against us thing, and I just hate it.
Mm-hmm. I think nowadays everything is all about race and political views and who you support. Like, if you've seen like people go on Omegle and stuff, they're like, the first thing someone asks is always, who do you support? Like, or we're like, oh, well, what race are you?
Okay.
Oh, well,
tell me about this. Can you tell me about this Omegle thing? Because I've been seeing it, but I don't know what it is. Because it used to be that Omegle was for very inappropriate stuff.
It still is, really. I don't get on ever because of that. But it's basically a way for you to connect with random strangers on the internet and talk to them through video chat. And it's kind of creepy. There's a lot of things on there that are really disgusting. Like, people will show things that should not be on there. People will say things they shouldn't.
Yeah, so like, because, I mean, that's what I'm referring to. Like, whenever I heard of Omegle, it was like, oh, do you want to see, like, a 40-year-old man, like, do gross stuff? And it was like, yeah, go on Omegle. But, I mean, because you just mentioned, like, on Omegle, like, people are asking you who you vote for. And I've seen some people getting on Omegle lately, like, on TikTok and stuff. What is that about? Like, what is that trend about?
I honestly don't know. Okay, so whenever you get on TikTok, you can put in, or not on TikTok, on Omegle. When you go into Omegle, you can put in this thing. There's like a search bar on the bottom. It's kind of like a search bar. It's an interest bar. You put in what topics you want to talk about. A lot of people put Trump 2020, Biden, or whatever, stuff like that. And then they'll hit chat and it'll bring up a new person. You talk to them. A lot of people are doing that. Like, they'll put in their interests like Trump 2020 or Biden and stuff like that, and be like, oh, who do you support and why? Or some people will literally just sit here like this with a Trump flag in the back. They won't say anything, and people are like, fuck you, Biden 2020, all this shit, and they're like, kill yourself, and so, repeat that stuff just because they have a Trump flag. It doesn't define who. I have a video in my drafts that I am waiting to post until my band decides to lift for like the 5th time in a row. But it's basically saying, like, basically it says this: you've heard of never judge a book by its cover, right?
Of course.
Let's say you're driving on the road. You are driving behind someone in a car and they have a bunch of stickers on their back. It'll say what kind of marathon they run. It'll have a family in the back. Yeah. It'll say what race listen to. They'll have the political views. Like, I have a van and I have a bunch of Trump stickers all over the back. That just shows a little bit of what they're like. It just tells you a little something about them, but it does not define who they are. right? Like, but a lot of people will probably be quick to judge, and they'll see someone with the baby on board and be like, oh, they're pro-life? How disgusting. Oh, they have a family, they decided to keep it? Oh, well, they're probably blah, 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 or this and that and the other. Or they see a Trump sign and be like, oh, they're racist, homophobic piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. They support a rapist and all this stuff. And it's just one little thing about them. It doesn't define who they are as a person. That's just one thing about them. I have a Trump sticker on the back, and it's basically just saying who I support. That's it. It's not saying I'm a misogynistic, white supremacist piece of shit and a racist, homophobic person. That's just one thing about me, and I'm waiting to post that because it's just basically saying don't judge a book by its cover, because that's just one thing about them, and it doesn't define who they are. Because like a lot of people are saying, like Trump supporters, their only personality is Trump. Well, oh, he lost, blah, blah, blah. And it's not a person. It's just something I support. Like there's a lot of things like that people support. Like, oh well, Trump lost. Okay, yeah. Well, what about what? Okay, so they'll be like, oh, you have a Trump flag up. Well, he lost. So why do you still support him? That's like saying someone with a gay pride flag in the back. It's like, oh, you have a gay pride flag. Okay, well, why do you still have that up? It's already been legal. We know you're gay. You can. Like, oh, okay, well then that's the same reason it's like your pride flag up. The same reason why I'm gonna have my Trump flag up.
Can you hear me?
Like, yeah.
Just give it a second. It's having a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Okay, there we
right,
go.
Can you hear me now?
You're back.
Okay. Hi. Almost. Hi. Not one right here. Hi. Are you done with your... Sorry, hold on. Are you done with your stuff?
Yeah, I'm going out with you.
Or...
Just wanted to go to Walmart.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm almost done. I think so. Love you. Anyway, I was saying, like people will be like, oh, you have a Trump flag in the back. He already lost. Why are you still supporting him? Why do you still have your flag up? And basically, I'm saying, like, for people with gay flags in the back, like, why do you still have your gay flag up? Oh, well, because I support it. I'm still part of it. Yeah, but it's already been legalized. We know you're gay. You can take it down now. No, but I still support the idea. Okay, that's the same reason why I'm going to keep my flag up. I have the freedom and the right to keep it up. No one's going to tell me to take it down. And if you do, I mean, I'm not going to listen to you. But like, you know, it's just something about me. Like that's like, you know, that person being gay. That's just one thing about them. That doesn't define them as, you know, who they are. It's just something about them. You know, same with Christianity. You're a Christian. That doesn't. I mean, kind of defines who you are, but it's not like a whole thing. Like
yeah.
you know. Stuff like that. Like I'm waiting to post that video because it would explain a whole lot. Like I'm not expecting a lot of people to agree with me, but I really think it would calm a lot of people down that are talking shit on my page. You know, like I know I'm not in the right a lot of times when I post things. Like I'm kind of mean, but like at the same time, like that doesn't give people right to tell me to kill myself and say all this stuff. You know, stuff like that. It's just. You know, like I would never do that to somebody. That would make me a really shitty person to go tell someone to kill themselves just because I disagree with them.
Well, but maybe some of them said that because you made the retard alert video, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but still, that's like totally different. Though that's the thing. They're two totally different.
Have you ever heard "All's Fair in Love and War"?
I've heard of it. Don't know what it is.
So, and we'll wrap up on this note. But here's all I'm saying. You're right. It's not right to tell someone to kill themselves. I agree with you. But also, I don't think it's right to make a video saying retard alert and then you forgot to, but leaving their name in, right? And I think if you're gonna if you're gonna put something out there, you got to be ready to receive it back. You know, and unfortunately, like, they went the extra step. They said kill yourself, and yeah, like, that sucks. That's not cool, right? But I mean, dude, like, you support a lot of ideas that a lot of people don't like, and that's something that, you know, people are always gonna have an issue with that. Jesus Christ was a perfect man, and they still spat on his face, you know. And even for the non-religious folk watching this, like, at the very least, Jesus Christ was a historical, like, philanthropist, you know, who, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, same with Gandhi and MLK and, you know, all these incredibly peaceful men and women. And so, I mean, just, I will leave with that, Savannah. I think if you're gonna at least, if you're gonna take issue with people telling you certain things, and I totally understand why you would, just, I mean, be more mindful of what you're saying, and also in general, you probably just shouldn't listen anyway, because even if you were only saying positive things, chances are someone still would say kill yourself. And so you know, if at the very least you know that what you posted was you were totally in the right, and that you weren't saying anything wrong or mean or harmful, if you have a good conscience about what you posted and someone tells you kill yourself, at the very least you can still go, you know what, I know I didn't do anything wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But if you did something wrong and you know that maybe what you did was a little bit wrong, you know, that's going to mess with you a lot. It's going to mess with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, regardless, Savannah, I think you're onto something. I think you're figuring it out as you go. Make a schedule, dude. I think it's clear that a lot of people want to hear what you have to say, you know? A lot of people want to hear what you have to say, and if you instill some good habits, I think you could be a force for good. You know what I'm saying? But just you can't stop and throw rocks at everyone, because if not, you won't get to where you want to go, and you don't want to stoop to their level anyway, because I mean, you know, to connect with you on a spiritual level here, if at the end of the day we're emulating a certain someone, you know what I'm saying? If at the end of the day that's the goal, we should be mindful about what comes out of our mouths, how it comes out of our mouths, and why we're doing and saying the things we do and say, you know? Because I mean, it's hard to get it right out here, to get it right out here. It certainly is. But Savannah, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming on again. We're going to go ahead. So guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please smash that like button, comment, tell us what you think. I'm going to link all of Savannah's socials down below. So please check out her content. Give her a follow. Check out her shoe art. Check out her TikTok. Check out her stuff. Let us know what you think about it. Is she tripping? Is she onto something? Let us know. Am I tripping? Am I a big fat idiot who doesn't know anything about anything? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for coming on, Savannah. And as always, make the world better. Suck a little less.